Thank you all for being here. I'm excited to have you here. I'm excited for you to be a part of this. And if you're here, you've come here with one thing in mind. It's either to learn piano or to get better at it, but you're here because you want to take your music playing to the next level. Every single key in the piano, we will be going through it, but today we're going to focus on the key of C. And the reason why I like to start with the key of C is, well, it's the easiest. Honestly, you saw the scale, they're all white keys. A lot of times what I like to do is I like to dive into key of C on many songs, depending on the song. If I see that there's certain notes that I need to figure out, I do it on a key of C. It's easy. And then what I do is I jump on and then I look at what I did and I sit down and I have to write it on paper. I write it on paper, but I start transcribing it to the key that I'm going to be playing on, whether it's G, whether it's D, whether it's F sharp, whether it's A flat, B flat. I don't transpose. That is definitely a no-no, but I do tend to sit here and figure it out. So without any more talking, we're going to dive into the key of C today. Okay, so like I said before, the key of C is very simple, all white keys, and it's a great starting point. So the scale is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And what I want you to know is, and obviously some of these things will be up on the screen as we go along, but every note on the scale has a number. And then every note in the scale also has a certain degree. It'll either be a major or it'll be a minor. And I'll be teaching you that along the way as well. So in the key of C, C would be 1, D would be 2, E would be 3, F would be 4, G would be 5, A would be 6, and B would be 7. There's no 8 because 8 would be the same thing as the 1, which is C. So we stop at 8. Once we start building chords, then yes, we go above 8. We don't use 8, but we do have 9, 11. We do have some 10s in some cases, and we do have some 11 and 13s. But for right now, we're going to focus on simple chords I want you to be able to play as soon as possible. So in the key of C, the 1 is C. And the chords to make up the key of the chord of C is C, E, and G. And that sounds it sounds happy because it is a major chord. You do have a thing between major chords and you have minor chords, but you can hear the difference right away. So know that for this one, C is a major chord and it's C, E, G. Then we go on to the second note on the scale, which is D. And D is a minor in this case. So it'll be D, F, and A. And I typically use, for this one, I use my thumb, my middle finger, and my pinky to play a chord this simple. Now we have C major, D minor, and then the next chord in the scale is an E minor, which is the third note in the scale. And that'd be E, G, and B. And then we go on to the fourth note in the scale, which is F. And F will be a major. And this consists of F, A, and C. And don't worry, if it's too much right now, you can always stop the video, go back, write your notes down. But we will be going into a song with this. And that way the song will help you memorize what the chords are and where the chords are. I'm not so worried about you being able to play the song right away and being able to play it perfect, as much as I want you to learn where your keys are and where your notes are on the piano and what's a major and what's a minor. So the fifth note on the scale is a G. And that will be a major as well. And that is composed of G, B, and D. The sixth note on the scale is an A minor, and that is composed of A, C, and E. The next chord on the scale would actually be a B diminished. You know, a minor. This would be the proper B minor, and this would be the B major, which you'll be learning in the in the next set. You'll be learning the B minor in this family of G. But for C, it is a B diminished. So there's B, D, and F. And this one does sound a little weird, and I'll admit it is a little weird, but it's a diminished chord. So it's not like you're going to be using it all the time. So if you notice one thing within all the chords, all the notes within the chords themselves are part of the scale as well. So if I tell you play a D minor and you find yourself hitting that F sharp up here, then, and we're on a scale of C, then you've done something wrong. Because all the keys within every chord will be a white key, because those are the keys that are part of the C scale. And again, I said, you'll be able to get this along the way, and it'll be easier. And we're gonna baby step this. I'm not gonna teach you to play, the songs in a way that you'll be confused. I'm picking simple songs that we can all pick up on, and we'll build up from there. Okay, so the first song we will be tackling is called King of My Heart. It is a song that we've sung a lot of times in churches. It's pretty simple, and I chose this song because it does have a lot of the chords in them. We will be keeping it simple at first. I will be playing the song one time through simple. I won't be complicating it, but as we go along, we might revisit some of these songs in a different key, and we might redo them, and we might revamp them, and then maybe at the end I'll also throw in an extra bonus, and you can try that once you pick up the keys. And you can pick it up and you have it pretty down packed, then I'll probably add a few extra things for you to learn. So this song goes like this. Let the king of my heart be the mountain where I run, the fountain I drink from. Oh, he is my song. Let the king of my heart be the shadow where I hide, the ransom for my life. Oh, he is my song. You are good, good. Oh, you are good, good. Oh. So let's dive into it. The first line of the song goes, let the king of my heart be the mountain where I run. So my left hand, what it's doing is, at this point right now, we're keeping it simple. I'm not going to go into what are slash chords and what are, any kind of note substitutions. My left hand is going to play pretty much the same thing that my right hand is playing. So in this case, well, just the bass note of it. So if we're on D minor, my left hand will play D. If we're on E minor, my left hand will play E. If we're on F, my left hand will play F. So King of My Heart starts on C. Let the king of my heart. It goes to F, back to C, A minor, G, O, F, my song. Let the king of my heart. F, A minor, G, O, F. And it's pretty simple because it repeats itself. Again, you don't have to follow. I don't want you to get caught up into the idea of, oh, I got to play the song at this speed. What I really want you to focus on right now is just getting the notes right and knowing where your notes are. So, C, you have that C, E, and G. And then F, F, A, C, and then back to C. The A minor. Once you get that down packed, we can move on a little bit more. We can expand a little bit more. And what I'll ask you to do is that same key that you have on the bottom. Let's say you're on this key of C. You have C, E, G. Whatever that note is at the bottom, put it at the top as well. And it really helps you expand the chord. It makes it sound a little fuller. So it's not always knowing the most chords. It's not always knowing the most. It's just being able to make the best with what you have. That's something I've learned along the way. It's something that I'm grateful for, something that my pastors told me. You want to be the best with what you have at the time. So let the king of my heart, F, be the fountain I run from, the fountain I drink from. Oh, he is my song. Let the king of my heart be the shadow where I hide, the ransom of my life. Oh, he is my song. Again, I'm not a singer. I'm sorry I said the words wrong, but I hope you get the idea on this one. So I just want you to keep practicing that. One of the things you can do, and we'll do this for every chord and for every chord family, but you can sit on the piano, take a few minutes and just go up the scale with your right hand. And get used to it. Then you could, throw in your left hand too. And that could be a practice for you, and get your hands moving, get your fingers moving, get moving around. So if we were to take this song now and kind of expand on it a little bit, there's something called inversions. I'm not going to get caught up into what's first inversion, what's second inversion, what's the root form. Yes, it's important at some extent. If you're playing with somebody who knows a lot of theory, they might be like, play second inversion, play, the first inversion. I just want you to be able to know that you can move around easier. Like, for example, this same song, let the king of my heart be the mountain where I run, the fountain I drink from. Oh, he is my song. That's great. Let's say now you can play it at that speed, but what if the song was faster? What if the song had a lot more movement? Like, for example, another song is, oh, oh, oh. So let's say the song was faster and you didn't have time to move around so much in the piano. You want to be able to get the job done without having to move around so much. So what can you do? It's called inversions. And I'll take a few minutes to explain it, and I want you to kind of dive into it. And I do have another song we'll be doing on this key, and I kind of want you to take a leap at it and try to see if you can do this on your own. It's not as easy as it sounds at times, at first, especially learning your chords. But once you get that down packed, it'll make it a lot easier. So, for example, you want to take this song, Let the King of My Heart. So we're going to F. That's our next chord. So what you can do is you can look at your right hand. Now that you know that you have C, E, and G, and you know that you're going to go to F, which have F, A, and C, you ask yourself, what do I have and what do I need? You already have C, which you also have that in F, so you can omit the C. So the only things you're missing now to go to that F is F and A. Well, if you look closely to what you're currently playing, you have E right here and F is right here. So you can move this E to the F, and then you have G here, and the only note you're missing now to go to that F is A. And A is right next to G. So, and you can bring it back. And you've literally played two different chords with moving only two fingers. And obviously your left hand does still have to move because it's how we're doing it for now. And obviously there's no F next to C. You have B, you have D, so you still have to either go here or here. But you can go, let the king of my heart be the mountain where I run. That's F. You have F, A, C, and back to C, E, G. Now, it doesn't need to be in that exact order as we first learned it, where you have those chords. See? My C here doesn't have G on top, but it's still a C chord. Especially if I have this note on the bass, it is still a C chord. Now, if I do this, I've changed it to a different key. Now I'm playing another form of an A minor. because my bass note is A. So you know you can move your fingers around, and you probably heard that at the end of the song. It's the same chord, just in different inversions. And what that does is it makes it easier, one, for you to be able to move around the piano. And as we learn along as well, the second thing it does for you is it gives you the opportunity to put the melody note on top. And that's something we'll learn later on along the way. I don't want to throw that in right now, but that might be the fourth class, because we're going to go from C to G, from G to D, and from D, then we're going to go to A. And when we get to A, we'll have the opportunity to look at that. There's a song I have prepared, which I love doing because every chord I play in there goes along with the melody. And I do that for a lot of the songs, which you'll be able to learn that. So, you know, and just give that a try. Now you're going to go to A minor. You already have, for A minor, you need A, C, and E. You already have C and E on the G scale, or on the G chord. So all you have to do is worry about this G, go into A, and you have your A minor. So you have the king of my heart, be the mountain where I run. Sorry, the fountain I drink. And then you have your G. You do have to move all your fingers for G, but if you notice, if you just move every finger down one, you have the G scale. You have your G, you have your B, and you have your D. Oh, and you do the same thing for F. It's mine. You already have C here. And to go to song, all you do is move this A down to G, this F down to E, and you have your song there. So let the king of my heart be the mountain where I run, the fountain I drink from. Oh, he is my song. And I'll have the rest of the chords, you know, down as a link so you can download them. But that is it. You know, you're already on your way to play your first